I want to talk about NHS. We all know by now it's all pretty much at a dire state, isn't it? So what should the focus be? The NHS One Trust anyway has found itself in trouble today because they've flown this banner on one of the welcome entrance halls. I can show it to you now. It's basically saying everyone's welcome here, which is not a problem. Everyone should be welcome. But then they go down to break it into all these different flags. It references 21 different genders or sexualities. It's all very odd, if you ask me. You've got everything in there. You've got a polysexual, someone who's sexually or romantic attracted to more than one gender. You've got pansexual, people who are attracted to all genders. I could go on, but there's loads of these things, and I found the whole thing bizarre. What on earth has who someone's sexually attracted to got to do with healthcare? Why would this be a focus of the NHS, Ella?
It shouldn't be a focus of the NHS. I actually think this is discriminatory against the hard of seeing, because I can tell you, even if I squinted going into the hospital, I wouldn't be able to understand all of those. I mean, the risk of doing this level of inclusion is that you're always going to exclude someone. But you're right, the idea that being polyamorous, which basically means you want to have all the cake and eat it, or gender fluid, or demisexual, or aromantic, which doesn't mean you've got nose problems. It means it's someone who has little or no romantic feeling towards others, that should factor into your care at a hospital, which you are meant to be coming into that hospital for some kind of relatively urgent, you'd imagine, medical treatment, whether it's you're giving birth or you're having your leg reset or something, that you really don't want to be caring about what your sexual orientation is. But this is the NHS at the moment. I mean, this is the way in which it seeks to gain some kind of credibility. You've got massive waiting lists, death and destruction in maternity scandals on a scale which is just unbelievable. You've got total failures in cancer treatment. The list goes on, and yet they roll out a flag like this and expect us to clap for them. It makes me very, very angry, because it just shouldn't be within the remit of a National Health Service to be involved in the gender wars like this. Because actually the most important point that comes down to it is you want to sort of ask these doctors and nurses, when it comes to doing the blood test or requesting the cervical cancer screening, do you know what a man and a woman is? Because you better. Because if you don't, then you're going to be giving bad care to people.
Mark?
It's pretty odd, isn't it? I mean, I'd ask this question. What is the problem they think they were trying to solve with a banner saying everyone is welcome here? Do we have in Britain large numbers of people who are about to check in to A&E because they've got an injury but think, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Perhaps this is an A&E only for gay people, or only for straight people, or only for polyamorous people. So there's no problem that needs solving here. This is all about making the NHS producers feel good at themselves. It's not so much the banner, it's the smiles on the faces of them waving flags behind it. There is no problem that needs solving here. I think everybody knows that every hospital is open to people of all races, types, sexualities, and all of the rest of it. So a complete distraction and waste of time. And it is going crazy. So over a year ago now, I had to have a scan on my back. And of all the questions they asked me, one was, did I think I might be pregnant? They asked me this in all sincerity. I mean, the form filling for this sort of grandstanding is absolutely extraordinary. And we keep hearing that they're incredibly cash-strapped, right? Well, close down whichever PR and marketing team came up with this nonsense.
Well, a chief people officer at the University Hospitals of North Midlands, I mean, I don't even want to snigger at the fact that you need a chief people officer, but anyway, whatever. She said about that banner the following: "We understand that different individuals may have varying views on symbols and flags used to represent different identities, but this banner symbolises our commitment to achieving a more inclusive organisation where both colleagues and the people that we care for are encouraged to be themselves." I think it's very odd. I mean, if you're an STD clinic, then fair enough. Have, talk about who's sleeping with who, whatever. That might be relevant to the care and all the rest of it. Where's the flag for heterosexual people?
Yeah.
Why is no one including them?
Well, actually, Mark makes a really good point, which is that this is almost kind of slanderous against the staff working in the NHS, because the suggestion is that they need to be shown these symbols in order to treat someone with care and respect. NHS staff, nurses, doctors, cleaners have been doing that for years without this sort of bureaucratic overreach.
I mean, I must confess, I am not gay, but if I was, and if I turned up at some of these places during Pride Month or whatever, and there's my boss waving this little flag, celebrating who I was in bed with last night, I'd think that was a little bit weird. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm sure you weren't. Be backwards and coming forwards to tell me if you think I am.